Hi, this is David again. 401. Listen, I just have had so many wonderful comments. I'm like on cloud 9. I think I'm living large. I don't know. I'm just happy. I'm just happy that some people have said, you've helped me, you've made me laugh. You haven't seen me naked yet, so the laughs are still ahead of you. I just feel wonderful and of service. That's all I've wanted to do my whole life. I took a social work. I have a degree in social work from Brigham Young, and I took a master's degree from Northeastern State University in college teaching of human services, and I have 20 graduate credits above that at Springfield College for guidance and psychological services. I've spent my entire professional career as a director of residential treatment centers in Massachusetts, and dealt with the difficult kids, throwaway kids. No one wanted to deal with them, and they scream, they yell, they steal cars, they spit at you, they pee on you, they do all kinds of things. And I really wanted to have some kind of a not a legacy. I wanted to make the world a better place. I don't care if people like me or they, oh, he's so, and I don't want any. I used to be in insurance for a while, and I used to refuse the plaques on the wall. I don't want a plaque on the wall. I sold insurance because I didn't want little kids not to have a peanut butter sandwich if their dad or mom died. So those motivations are not part of me. They're just not part of me. And I just want to say thank you for those who have given me this opportunity, and I hope the videos live on. After I'm long gone, I hope the videos live on, because I believe the things I've said. I've been 100% honest with you. Now, let me be, again, 100% honest with you. Bipolar people, we tend to round things off in our favor. Some people call that exaggeration, okay? I try very hard not to exaggerate because I know I'm bipolar, and I know that can be a deficit of that particular mental illness. The things I have said are factual. Now, if you had seen these things, and if you're a Mormon, you might interpret them very, very differently. Very differently. And that's okay.
I'm gonna go house clean, Dad, with Chayid.
Okay. That's
okay.
My daughter.
She's not a Mormon, by the way.
I can't erase that. It's in the middle of my video. We just had a little screaming match that the Mormon girl is trying to convert my girl to be a Mormon. And the little girl won't come over here. We invited her on vacation. No. My child has to go to her house. She's not allowed to be around an atheist. She can't be here. And the spirit, you know. Anyway, be that as it may. I've wanted to have some type of, I'm glad the world would be a better place that I was here. I think there's nothing more discouraging than to live an entire life and you die and you don't leave any positive things, whether it's posterity or a book or your journal or a video or pictures, in some way to influence or help other people. So that's been my main motivation. I never thought in a million years when I started these videos that anybody would look at. My mom would click them. My mom would keep clicking like, I got 65,000 clicks on you, David. I saw her today in the hospital, and you know, I'm fighting the Mormon crowd down there. None of the Mormons want to nurse my mother. None of them. Not one of my Mormon kids, not one of my Mormon brothers and sisters wants to roll her over and clean her crap up. Well, I've done that in life. When I was very young, I took care of Mr. Merriam of the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, and for 4 or 5 years wiped his crap up and walked him and fed him, and so I have an idea of what it's like to deal with geriatric or elderly people. Well, not one damn Mormon has stepped forward. They all visit. I told you, don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. There isn't a line of Mormons to roll her at night, roll her over. I don't mean roll her for her money. I don't know. Maybe they'll do that too. But anyway, I went down and I told Mom, I said, you know, I have 2 children still that are used to taking care of me because of my quad bypass and my diabetes. My little 9-year-old shoots all my insulin and gives me 8 medications a day so that I don't fall over dead. And so I said, Mom, why don't you come up? You can have Allison's bedroom, and I've got the full bathroom. Look at my video about the $14,000 bathroom, and I'm about to do a video on the $6,000 air conditioning. My mom can't come up here when it's 96 in the house, so I had to rip out all the air conditioning and redo the whole damn thing. So there's another $6,000. Well, anyway, I want to be in a position that when I'm laying in my deathbed, like my mother is, that I can say I've done some good things. And I think the world is a better place. And these videos, who knows? Who knows if people just burn them or the Mormon Church confiscates them and YouTube is bought by the Mormon Church and Mitt Romney is the new video. Oh, God. YouTube person. I don't know. But I've tried. I've tried with my education. I've tried with my children. God knows. If I had anything to do, only one thing to do again in life, I would wish that I had never been a Mormon and I had never introduced my children to that cult. I have 14 children, and half of them don't talk to me because they're members of the Mormon Church, and they have been instructed and taught verbally or non-verbally to shun me, that I'm an apostate, that I don't believe in Jesus, which I don't, and that I'm a terrible person, which I'm not. You know, I just, you know, watch my daughter here. I supervise my kids. I don't want them in that cult. She doesn't understand. She's 14 and she wants to play, and she doesn't realize they're sucking her in. They're sucking her in. That's the purpose. They need validation. So hopefully, and I'm so happy that a few of you have made a comment here and there. Take the time to do that, to not encourage me, but to simply say, that helped me, or that was funny. This is really fun. Now you're really laughing. So anyway, if I've made you laugh, if I've made you cry, and I've drawn out any emotions, and I know there's many Mormons, you'll be amazed. I pull up my demographics. Mormon women between 35 and 45 in the state of Utah. There it is. Those are the most people that look at me from all over the world. The biggest group are Mormon women between 35 and 45 in the state of Utah. And I have had 10,000 hits in the state of Utah. So some Mormons have looked on here and they haven't made terrible comments. Maybe they're thinking about the terrible comments that they're going to make about me. But you know, I'm a happy person. Finally. My personality has come out a little bit. I used to be like this, you know, bow my head and say yes, and a robot. Scared to death that I'm going to say something or do something wrong because I knew I was a little strange, being bipolar, and sometimes I said this in one of my other videos, but you don't have to go down through 400 to find it. I was sitting in a gospel doctrine class one Sunday with my wife sitting beside me, and the teacher was making the point that you can try and try, but it's not going to do any good, and that it's just in your mind. And I said, jeez, I was only 24, 26. So I raised my hand, and the whole group, they know when David raises his hand, they cover their children's ears. So I was honest. I said, is it kind of like mental masturbation? It feels good, but nothing really is happening. Oh my God. Well, now that I have come into the real world, I realize that that's probably not the most kosher comment in a mixed company in a Sunday school class. But it's taken me 50 years to figure that out, 45 years, whatever. So anyway, mental masturbation is something that I didn't invent. I just happened to say it. So anyway, if it does any good, it makes you laugh, it makes you think, it makes you wonder, it gives you opportunity to meditate and to contemplate. If you're a Mormon, it gives you an opportunity to say, well, you know, his experiences are very similar to mine. But I'm happy now. I have a good wife, and she takes good care of me. She's the sweetest little thing in the world. And one of the hateful Mormons said, I don't think you're still married. Well, I am. She just went to work. She just went to work. She's the sweetest thing in the world. And the only reason I don't bring my kids, the only reason I don't bring my kids on here is because I'm not sure it's healthy for kids to go public and 65, 165, 500,000 people. Because there's a lot of strange birds out there. You know, there's rapists and murderers and hitmen, and, you know, they could get my kids at school and whatever. I try not to be paranoid. I take a lot of meds, but I'm still a little nervous of the Danites. Well, anyway, I was going to bring Allison on in the next couple of days and have her discuss some of the questions that kid asked me. It just keeps me in stitches. I just love her to death. And I love this audience to death. You just have made me a whole person. I wanted to help. I wanted to influence in a positive way, not in a negative way. Now, of course, the Mormons think that I'm influencing in a negative way. I'm not. I've never told people to leave their church. I'm just telling you I was in their church and this is what happened to me. Maybe I'm an aberration. Maybe out of the 14 million, no, 4 million, because they lie. Out of the 4 million, I'm the only one, you know, that has left the church. Well, that's not true. You know, they are going backwards. They're not growing now. And I remember when I was in 7th grade, there was 10 million Mormons. Well, now I'm 65 years old and there's 14. No, there's not. There's not. 2/3 of every ward is inactive. The 300 people in the ward, 150 or 30 will show up to a meeting. The rest, they don't know where they are, or they don't attend, or they're inactive, they're resigned like I am. So anyway, this audience, you people, have given me an opportunity to become a very happy person. My personality has come out, much to the dismay of my wife. And my mom doesn't want to come up and live with me because she says, you're an ass. I go, so? You've known that since I was born. So if she wants help and she wants me to nurse her, I'm happy to do that. I don't need Jesus points. I don't need Muslim points or Buddha points. I don't need points. I hope I die and that's the end. If I die and there's a guy there with a beard and a big white robe and Jesus boots, I'm going to go, holy shit, did I make a bad mistake? So what? I am who I am. If he doesn't want me, I don't want him. And if he's going to let Mormons in, send me somewhere else. I lived with them down here for 50 or 60 years. I don't want to be with Mormons in the celestial kingdom. Even if they take my penis off, that's how bad I feel. I wouldn't want anyone to take my penis off. But if I have to live with the damn Mormons for eternity and have 14-year-old wives indefinitely, I don't know. Maybe I could be talked into that. What an ass. What an ass. Anyway, I don't want to live with the Mormons. I don't want to be around the Mormons. And I was just arguing with my daughter just now because the Mormon girl, who seems like a nice girl, but her parents are convincing her that she needs to convert Abigail to their religion. They invite her to family home evening. They invite her to young women. And they've invited her to church. And now they just invited her to go to an amusement park with them. And I finally said, well, let me come down and talk to the parents. That I don't want any more conversion moves on my kid. So they went down to the car, and the parents down there, the Mormons, said, we don't want to talk to him. I said, you know what? I'm done talking to you. Get the hell away from my kid. Your child cannot be around my kid because she's full of a cult. She's dangerous. And I don't want my children exposed to those kinds of ideas. When they're 18, they can be a Lutheran or a Mormon. I don't care. They can be an FLDS. I don't care. But by the time they're 18, my kids will have some common sense. And they're not going to, they will know that an amusement park invitation is only trying to have fun. And then it's going to be up the rear end with the Joseph Smith story and the Sergeant Brigham Young killing the Mountain Meadows people. Someone came on and said, well, what proof do you have that Brigham Young killed the Mountain Meadows people? 120 men, women, and children who surrendered their guns to the stake presidents and bishops, and then they shot them all in the face and killed them. I'll tell you how I know, because I looked for this for 20 years in my life, and I never could find a direct connection between Brigham Young ordering those people to be killed. Well, Brigham Young went to the Mountain Meadows Massacre monument, and I believe it was John Taylor.
Dad, will you take me to Marvik's house? Because I gotta water her plants.
Honey, I'm doing a video right now. Don't bother me for about 10 minutes.
Hey.
So John Taylor was his scribe and taking notes, and Brigham Young was standing in front of the monument, and he said out loud, according to John Taylor. Now, I believe John Taylor. Okay, so if you don't, that's okay. He did become a prophet and a president of the church. And Brigham was reading the sign at the Mountain Meadows Massacre, and it said, "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord." That's the inscription that was there. And Brigham turned down to John Taylor and he said, "Vengeance is mine, and I've just had a little." That's good enough. That's good enough for me, that I know that Brigham Young knew those people were coming out of Arkansas, because Parley P. Pratt was, in trouble down there, got hurt. I don't know if he got killed down there or not, but Brigham was so pissed that those people were coming out of Arkansas. He knew that. The bishops and the stake presidents in St. George, if you've ever been in St. George, they're nothing but big rocks. There's no Pony Express. There's no electricity in those days that came down there. Those people didn't know anything about these people coming out of Arkansas. So it wasn't a contrived plan by the local authorities. That's a lie. That's a stupid, stupid lie by stupid Mormons. They need to get on the damn internet and research their own history. Brigham Young ordered those guys to be massacred by the authorities of the church. Now, the stake president, who was executed for his shenanigans there, read his dying dialogue. He says clearly that Brigham Young ordered him. He said clearly he was under the assumption that he would be safe, because murdering people, Brigham Young was the governor, and he could have, get away with it. So, read Brigham Young saying to John Taylor, "Vengeance is mine, and I've just had a little." And then read the last 2 or 3 pages of the journal of the stake president who was executed, clearly blaming Brigham Young, clearly saying that he had, Pony Express notes and letters and whatever that went back and forth, and he was ordered to kill those people, and Brigham let him take the fall for it. So, again, I don't argue. I read, I do my own research, and then I just report to you my synopsis of what I've seen, what I've done, and what has happened to me in the Mormon church. Well, I got off on a tangent there. But anyway, let me leave this with the thoughts that I hope I've done some good somewhere for somebody. That's all. Even if it's one person, I don't care. If it's just one person that says, "Gee, that helped me think," or "that motivated me," or "that inspired me," or "it made me meditate," and maybe I'm thinking of doing something different in my life that will make me happy like he is as an old man. I have wonderful kids. I have a wonderful house that we have, and it has air conditioning now. And it has a bathroom, so I don't have to pee in the hall or in a cup in the kitchen anymore. That's made me a happy man. My sweet wife is healthy. I'm healthy, other than being bipolar, but I take $800 a month of medications, and you can see it doesn't help that much. But you should see me when I don't take meds. That's scary. And my diabetes, I have that somewhat under control. I've lost 23 or 5 pounds here in the last couple of months. And, you know, I've had quad bypass, and I don't have any chest pains anymore. Because they found I had no heart. That's what my 4 ex-wives have said. He has no heart. So they've confirmed that with this CAT scan. So I'm feeling pretty healthy there. And I would say to my ex-wives, the next time I go in the hospital, please don't write the hospital doctors and cuss them out for keeping me alive. Jesus, Mohammed, Buddha, and the rest of the gods of this world, money, want me to do videos. And as long as my mouth works, my heart doesn't work, my brain doesn't work. And my feet, I was having trouble even balancing the other day. I go, God, is that diabetes? And then you know what happened? We've had this hot weather, which helped me get the air conditioning. I got up and I passed out. I'm leaning against the door, and my wife says, are you okay? Well, I didn't answer her because I was leaning against the door casing, passed out. And everything turned white, and I thought, well, you know, the 400th video, he's taking me. The Mormons win. Well, they didn't win, and I came to again, and I said, you know, everything is white. I feel really lightheaded all the time, and I'm losing the ability to balance. And then, about an hour later, I went in the bathroom and threw up. Well, that can all be a heart attack. It can be a stroke. It can be stress. It can be raising kids. I know you younger people, you're still raising kids and you're 25 or 35. That can happen to you. I told you I found a banana on my my router, my 9-year-old. Oh, God, if I live through her, I've made it. But anyway, I'm happy. I laugh, I go places, I do things, I get to drive. We just drove clear to California and back. I drove 2,300 miles. I don't remember more than 200. But that's okay as long as I made it home on time and safely. We just went to Idaho 2 days ago, and there's a neat place up there. It's called Lava Hot Springs. And it's a bitchin' place, it really is. The kids and my wife got in tubes and floated down the river. Now, I wouldn't let my wife do that if she didn't have $1 million policy and I'm the beneficiary. I'd go back to the Philippines and get a couple of more 21-year-olds, I don't know. But anyway, they went down the river and just laughed their faces off, had more damn fun. And I'm just too old to do some of that stuff, because if I fall in the river, I'll die. And then that would be sad. Maybe it wouldn't. Maybe my ex-wives would rent the tube for me and puncture it as I go down. But anyway, they have a water park down there and a huge slide. The kids went down the water slide and went in the pool. And we rented this really cool little house. When I told them that, we took 2 neighbor kids. I said, I have 4 children. And they said, holy shit, you can't have a motel room. We can't even get you in there. They're old motels. So they rented me this little house. And God, it had 2 beautiful bedrooms and a full kitchen and a jacuzzi and TV, and it was fun. It was really, really a fun time. So those Mormons that believe I'm kicking against the pricks, I have kicked against the pricks. They're called Mormon leadership. They're the pricks. There's no more pricks out here. I mean, it's cool sailing. It's green grass. I'm looking out at my waterfall and pond off the 2nd floor up here, and I can run to the bathroom anytime. And brand new toilet seat. Have you ever had a new toilet? I never had a new toilet seat. Never. And of course, in the Philippines when I was there, I felt at home because they don't have toilet seats. They don't have toilets. They don't have toilet paper. And in my younger days, paying my tithing to the damn Mormon church, my kids didn't have braces, they didn't have medication, they didn't see a doctor unless they were on their deathbed, and I slapped them silly for being sick. Now my kids have dental, and they have insurance, and they have health insurance, and counseling if they need it, medications anytime, and they go places. My daughter was on the track team and did pretty well, and she plays classical piano, and she dances. She's a really good hip-hop dancer. And then my 9-year-old, she was doing karate, and that got expensive, and we pulled her out of there. But anyway, thank you for letting me have some peace in my last days of my life. And maybe I'll live till tomorrow, maybe I'll live 5 years or 20. I don't know, and frankly I don't care. But as long as I'm alive, I am going to try to help people. I adopted these 2 little girls, and it's not cheap. It was $40,000, and immigrated them to the United States, and my wife another $20,000, and these little girls were starving to death in the Philippines. I've got little Allison, she's ADHD, and she was so malnourished, I got her out of a hospital. She had typhoid, and was about to die. No one had $25 for penicillin, and I sent it to the Philippines, and she survived, and that's a little emotional to me. And they lived on the ground. They didn't have many clothes. Abigail went to school. 60 kids in her classroom. Allison never could afford school, and I paid for her to be in a little preschool, and then I paid for her to be in kindergarten. So I'm proud that hopefully I've made some kind of a positive impact, maybe on these kids. They may grow up and become Mormons and shun me and hate me. But you know what? I did the right thing, in my mind. Now, the Mormons go, you know, the kids were members of the Mormon church and he took them out. You're damn right I did. You're damn right I did. I had them resign along with me. Their mother is still legally a member. I have to tell you a secret. You know, don't tell anybody. This is a family secret. My sweet Filipino wife, because of some female pain, heard in the Philippines that if you drink a beer, it helps. So I went to the store last night and I bought my first can of beer. I don't like beer. I have some wine, and I'll take a wine once or twice a week, a half a glass of wine. But I bought Heineken because I see the commercials and they must be good. So I buy this Heineken. Well, you know, she takes a couple sips of it. She's so tiny. She's 100 pounds. And now she's giggling all over, dancing in the room. She's as cute as can be. She's just like a little girl that had a little bit too much. And it was only 1 or 2 sips. Well, I guess she had problems through the night. She slept out in the living room, and so I woke up and I said, "How are you feeling?" She says, "Well, not very good." I said, "Well, why don't you just sip a little bit more?" And she said, "It's gone." It's gone. I'm telling you, that's the funniest damn thing that has happened to me. That her Mormon ways and her return missionary way, she told the kids it was for medication, and they were crying and going, "You're going to be a drunkard. You're going to be a drunkard." That's what they call it in the Philippines. She's as sweet as can be, and today I think Aleve has replaced the Heineken. I don't know, but you know, we went. I told you tubing the other day, and it's the first days I've seen her not wearing the garments. And thank God I don't have to sleep with Monson and Joseph Smith at night, because she never wears them at night, and that's a blessing to me, because if she wears them in the day, who gives a rat's ass what her underwear is. But when we went tubing and everything, she was a real sport, and she jumped in there like a kid. She's so sore the next couple of days. You know, 42 years old, she thinks she's 18, but I love her to death, and I love doing this. This I really, really enjoy. And I've said it once before on other videos, the reason I like this is that nobody talks back to me. It's all me. It's the David Show. When I talk to human beings, they go, you know. When I do it alone, I think I'm always right. No one debates me. And when the comments come in, you know, I tell you, I don't erase comments. I don't. I want you to see the Mormons as they really are. And read the comments. Read how hateful and vengeful they can be, and they don't believe I resigned. They called me Jewish. I told you that before. I'm not sure that's an insult, because the Mormon Church thinks the Jews are the chosen people. Chosen for what? I don't know. Maybe chosen for the Holocaust. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for the few comments. Well, the hundreds. It's not here comes the baby again. Yes.
Can you give her a med?
I'm on the YouTube right now, and you're talking to 65,000 people. Could you be quiet for a minute, and I'll come out and I'll take you. I'll give her a med.
No, I'd rather embarrass her in front of people.
That's a 9-year-old. Who's gonna marry that girl? Who's gonna marry her? She calls up and says, "Give the older girl a medication." They're both on meds at different times. when I say, because you know, my oldest one said the other day, "I get a headache. My head hurts." And I said, "Well, you know what? You're a pain in my ass. Take your med." And she does. And they're sweet. They really, really are sweet kids. And you can't expect them to come out of that third world country as normal kids. They didn't have, you know, poor little Abigail told me. And I've met her grandfather, the greatest man I've ever met on the face of the earth. Her grandfather is an exceptional man. And she told me one night we were eating, and I said, "Well, have you ever been hungry?" She says, "Well, several times." And I said, "Well, how did you feel about that, or how did you handle it?" And she said, "Well, Grandpa sometimes would push his food across the table so that I could eat." Why would I want a retirement home? Why would I want an airplane? Why would I want a yacht? Why would I want to fly all over to Europe? What I really want is to help. And now you can hear the doors slamming, so I'm going to have to go here because they're slamming doors. But the condition that I found them in was sad. And the other day, my wife was crying because the girls are so spoiled. And I said to my wife, "Well, didn't you have electricity?" And she said, "No." I said, "Didn't you have a toilet?" I said, "No, just a hole in the ground." "Didn't you have toilet paper?" "No, we had to wipe with our hands." I said, "Well, did you have a refrigerator?" She says, "No, we had no electricity." I said, "Well, did you ever have a bike?" "No." And that made a serious impression upon me, because I've always been an American, and I haven't been wealthy, but I've certainly had toilets and electricity and enough food. And so my perspective is different after this last family that I'm going to have. They're humble, they're appreciative and thankful that they got to America, and I'm humble and appreciative that I had the chance to alleviate a little bit of pain and a little bit of suffering. So thank you again. I don't know how long I'll keep the videos up. The comedy show is going to go on as long as the Mormon Church goes on. I'll tell you that right now. You know, it's Barnum and Bailey resurrected. So thank you very much, and I appreciate you. Thank you.